a minute early. That never happens in the real world. So welcome everybody to Friday night's 30-minute meditation. This is something I've optimistically called Sounds from Outer Space. So 30-minute meditation is something I'm offering 3 times a week at the moment, and it's really an opportunity and offering just to step away from whatever is going on in your routine, your new routine, whatever that looks like, and just take a few minutes to step back and breathe and go inwards. I always refer to meditation and sound and yoga as exercises rather than exercises. So although those in the halls of power are very keen to tell us we must get our daily exercise, I think it's also really important that we get a daily inner size. So welcome to your inner size today. I think we've finally cracked the digital stuff, which is very exciting. I do have the messenger on within my webinar, so if you do need to speak to me or let me know something kooky is happening with any sound or video at all during the session, please use the live chat within the webinar window and I will be able to see that. Alternatively, if you have me on WhatsApp, feel free to go for that as well. I can also see that while we're in the space together. So welcome, Friday night. Friday, going out is no more, staying in is the new going out. And I think I've always loved doing sounds on a Friday night. I think it's a perfect time of week just to have a little step back, a little pause, a little reflect on what the week has brought for you and for those in your life before heading into a weekend. So I'm always happy to do Friday night sessions, whether in the real world or in cyberspace. So thanks for coming along. 30-minute meditation is a combination of meditation and healing sound. Sound therapy can be always taken as a meditation where you simply drop out of your body and find yourself in a place of higher consciousness, or it might be something that you see as very healing where you're trying to put your body back into balance and looking to restore either a physical state or maybe calm down some anxiety or any kind of imbalances going on for you mentally or emotionally. So you can take sound to be either very restorative and therapeutic or very relaxing and meditative, as you prefer. So I will leave that in your hands to decide what you'd like to do tonight. Before we start, the admin, headphones. Please make sure you have some. You can, of course, just listen through whatever speakers you're on if that's what's available. And obviously we're all having to compromise at the moment. So by no means feel you have to log off if you don't have headphones. If you do, please put them on. Big ones are better, earbuds are fine. It just means that because I'm recording to you in stereo, you get the bounce between your right and your left. I'm watching myself on the screen in reverse, so I'm finding that really entertaining for some reason. So headphones on, and tonight's Sounds from Outer Space is all about the glorious gongs. So over the course of the week I usually play to you many different instruments, but the gongs are my absolute fave. They're the thing that got me into sound, that got me into sound therapy. They never fail to drop me out and just send me off to outer space, and I find them the most amazing way to begin the week, to end the week, at any time of the week, but especially at the end of the week. So the form tonight is I'm just going to talk to you for a few minutes about what's going on in the skies, what's going on with the planets. The planets are kind of intricately intertwined with gongs for reasons that I'll touch on briefly. And then we're going to get into 20 minutes of just pure gong, nothing else, no other sounds. We will begin with a little bit of, I think, drum today maybe, just to get you into the space, but then it will just be gong straight through. So get nice and cozy, make sure you've got your socks on, your PJs on, eye mask if you have it, don't worry if you don't, and of course headphones. So planets, you may or may not be familiar with planet symbols. This one here is Saturn. Unfortunately I don't have a Pluto. I'm hoping to have a Pluto really soon, but the reason I mention that is that we have an exciting planetary conjunction that's happening tomorrow, April 4th. And this is the conjunction between Pluto and Jupiter. So this only happens about every 13 years, so it's a reasonably rare one. And the reason it's quite exciting is that Jupiter's like the big granddaddy of the universe, the big gas giant. He's sort of power, positivity, forward motion. And Pluto, little dinky Pluto, is kind of the lord of karma and death and rebirth. So when these guys meet, that invites kind of a real kind of clash of the titans, this big positive force and this dinky little fiery aggression. And the way that Pluto and Jupiter is really going to play out this year is that they kind of meet tomorrow for the first time, and then they have a little dance again in June and then again in November. So it's going to be a theme of the year, these two planets passing each other and finding their energy aligned. What the signature of this conjunction really is abundance and prosperity, which is a really interesting thing for us to think about, I think, given our current circumstances. I know for lots of us, finances, prosperity, lack, loss, collapse of business, being self-employed is stuff that's been playing on our minds. I know lots of people I can see who are joining us this evening have been having those fears and feelings and experiences as we all wait patiently every day for news about what's happening for our personal situation. So it's really interesting that this planetary conjunction is all about the idea of abundance. And I've spent a lot of time, as I think lots of us have in the last few weeks, thinking about what is abundance. Is it just stuff? Is it just the things, the material things, the car, the dressing gowns, the jewellery, everything else? Or is it more than stuff? And of course, we all know it's more than stuff. So this conjunction is really about inviting us to think about what is abundance for us, what's important in your life now. I think for most of us, obviously, we're realising those personal connections. Hugging is really important, that we're all really missing. Social contact, being able just to pop in and say hi to friends. You know, you walk past someone's house and just drop by, and it's really it's something I think that we're all really missing, and all only just realising how important that is. So have a think as we start to head into our sound this evening, what abundance means for you, what it did mean for you, and what it means now. Jupiter, as I said, is a very optimistic planet. It's all about fixing what's broken, and the idea really at the moment in the planetary conjunctions is that Pluto is kind of tearing up all the stuff that isn't working. He's Scorpionic ruler, so any Scorpios will be familiar with this kind of self-destructive tendency. Sort of tearing everything up, looking at the things that aren't working and just throwing them away. Whereas Jupiter's coming in and saying, well, if we're going to throw things away, we have to put new things in their place. So I really like this idea of using this phase to decide what we're going to get rid of, what we're going to keep. Maybe for some of us, our jobs, our careers are going to change. Maybe the emphasis is going to shift. Maybe we'll come out of this doing whole other things and being whole new people, which is pretty exciting. So let's take a moment before we really get into the sound to just recognise what you have. Maybe if you need to recognise what you've lost or in the process of losing at this time, it's a good thing to invite in with some comfort, to not shy away from some of those difficult internal journeys. And just as you start to settle down for your sound meditation this evening, just taking a few deep breaths, maybe repeating to yourself, I am abundant because, or abundance to me is, and just start to fill in the gaps, see what comes naturally to you. And if you're not familiar with meditative breathing, the first thing to do is really take a big inhale in through the nose, let it all out through your mouth in a big sigh, like a ha noise. Really notice the emptiness in your belly. And then as the air comes in again, really notice your belly expanding and filling, your heart lifting, your shoulders lift up closer to your crown, and you're really full. And pause at the top and take your attention to the space between your eyebrows. And then softly exhale again through the lips, noticing everything gently drop and soften. Shoulders, chest relaxes, belly softens. And just a couple more deep breaths like that, maybe starting to close your eyes at this point if that feels good for you. And now's a really good time to work on setting your intention. Your sound journey is only ever as good as the energy you put into it. So it's for you to decide what you're going to bring into your session today, whether you want to invite healing or meditation, rest, relaxation, if you want to process your current feelings about abundance or prosperity or whatever's going on in your life, or if it's something else entirely, or if you just want to chill out. But whatever it is, have a clarity in your own mind of what it is you're bringing into your session today. I quite like this concept of phoenix from the flames right now. It's a really good one to work with. So if Jupiter or Pluto or the names or the planets or the colours or the visions of those words mean something to you, maybe bring them into your thoughts just before we get going. So if you're not already, you can start to get yourself comfortable. Lying down is always nice. You can sit if you want. Just make sure you have somewhere quiet. If you've got cats or dogs near you, make sure you know where they are. It can be quite alarming if they leap on you in the middle of a meditation. Believe me, I've done that. And just take another deep breath. Let the air softly move away from your lips. Holding your intention in your heart. And in the space between your eyebrows, your third eye. And this is where we meet our consciousness. So very softly beginning to reconnect with your body, to allow your breath to deepen, your fingertips to wiggle, maybe rolling your wrists around, allowing your head to drop softly side to side, welcoming your conscious and your body back into the same space. And just taking a few moments to take note of where you are and how you feel, if anything has come up for you in the last 20 minutes or so of pure gong. So these outer space sounds, I think, are just magical, and I mentioned that the gongs have a unique relationship to the planets, and without drowning your sleepy, meditating minds with too much science, it's worth mentioning that these planet gongs, that I have a couple of actually, are uniquely connected because their tunings are related to something called the Hans Cousteau frequencies. So a guy named Hans Cousteau, strangely enough, plotted the orbits of all the planets and of a few beyond the planets. He got into a few of the Kuiper belt, the asteroids as well, like Chiron and places like that. And he figured out basically the frequency at which the planets vibrate as they orbit. So the planet gongs have been carefully tuned to match those frequencies, so it can be a little esoteric and spin you out quite a bit, especially if you're already kind of spacey. But I like to visualize and imagine when I'm playing the gongs or listening to them that you're really listening to the universe and to the cosmos kind of spinning around you and you spinning around it. So and to leave you with that nice little thought of all the planets spinning around on their orbits, each making their own unique sounds, their own unique contribution to the universe. And we'll think a little bit more about Jupiter and Pluto, this magical conjunction we have coming our way tomorrow. It's all about the phoenix and the flames, about healthier relationships with abundance, which hopefully we're all having an opportunity to cultivate in these super strange but oddly quite enjoyable moments of reflection. So thank you so much for joining me for your 30-minute meditation today or this evening. I'm keeping these at the moment so they can all be replayed on my YouTube channel. If you have emailed directly to sign up tonight, I'll be following up and I'll drop you a link with the YouTube, so if you want to listen back to this or any of the ones I've played this week or last, then you can. That won't be going on forever. I need to not put too much free stuff out there, but it is going to be moving on to my website, where if you have signed up, you'll be able to access streams that you signed up for going forward. If you would like to join me again, the next session is on Monday at 1 o'clock, which is called the Monday Moon, where we talk a little bit about what's going on with the lunar cycles, where the moon's at. We have got a gorgeous full moon coming next week, so it's a particularly nice week to work with. Wednesday lunchtime, Wednesday afternoon at 3, we have Crystal Bowls, where we'll be working exclusively with the sparkly goodness over there. And Wednesday evening, I'm actually hosting a full soundscape. So some of you have come to these with me off the cyber cloud. A soundscape is a full gong bath, 45 minutes or so. It's also drums, bowls, harmoniums, chimes, rattles, drums filled with lentils, whatever else I can get my hands on. And this also involves essential oils, talking a bit about, as well as the lunar energy, what's going on with the planets, with our relationship to the cosmos, with the earth, with the elements. Next week is the full moon in Libra. It's going to be full moon Tuesday to Wednesday, so we're going to have a session Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. If you'd like to join us for that, you can buy a little £5 ticket until midnight tonight, and then it goes up to £10. So do jump onto my website, which is silenceandnoise.co.uk, if you'd like to join. I think that's pretty much all I need to tell you. Do stay in touch on social media. Let me know how it was for you, any experiences, any thoughts you want to share, if anything's popped up for you in that session. If you have any thoughts on the audio quality, I know there was a tiny bit of crashing at one point, but I think we just about got away with it. So if you have anything you need to let me know, please do. And it's also really good to know what you're listening on, how it works for you, just so I can keep people informed as well as I can about the best way to experience sound in these strange days. So thank you so much for joining me for 30-minute meditation. Hopefully I will see you on Monday. Namaste.